everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of Art Things Considered, where we consider art. My name is Matthew Slaza.
I'm Isabella Pico.
I'm Sabrina Braga.
And I'm Nico Williams.
And we've got some great stuff on the show for you today. We've got some cool stuff in the Marvel world. Got a lot of stuff for you for that. Going to go over some cool TV show Halloween specials. And, of course, go over the movies and such. But first, Isabella with the Broadway Beat.
All right. So thank you very much, Matt. So Hamilton PBS special. Watched it Friday night. Did you watch it, Matt? I know you watched it.
I watched it twice.
Yeah, I know. That's real dedication right there.
In reality, I watched it once and had it on the background the second time, but it was still really good.
It was still there. Just to say, the show was amazing. They did a fantastic job just showing how Lynn took the history of Hamilton and everything that Hamilton was, history-wise, what he did for our country, what he did for our banks, for our money system and everything, and how he incorporated all of that into the show. But a really big thing he talked about was how, you can't put every little history tidbit into the show. So he said how it was really important for him to pick and choose what went in the show and what didn't, and how in order to do that, you really have to keep the show moving along. And that was a really great point that I really appreciated him saying, because I have a friend who is such a history purist, and she's like, I won't watch the show or listen to it because they didn't get it right, like history. And it's like, oh, okay, it's a Broadway show. Of course it's not going to be historically accurate 100%. But the show is like 85% accurate. Not even 85. I get it like a 90. There's only a couple of tidbits that are off.
You can't say, and it's kind of my issue, is like you can't say accurate for anything that's limited by time.
Yeah.
Because they fudge some things to kind of move the show along, like everybody meeting at the same time.
Yeah.
And, the order of some certain events, but it was in order to have an accurate portrayal of the character's story in such a short time.
Yeah.
So to me, I don't feel like it's inaccurate as much as it was a choice of an artist, and I get really annoyed when history people are like, it has to be the exact same as history. I do think you need to give justice to the history and to the story, but I don't think that means you have to be completely historically accurate. It is a story. It's a piece of art. You can't just expect them to take the words of history and turn them into acting.
No.
Like, that's not what we want.
Exactly. And like you said before, there's no way time-wise. You think it would have worked if Lynn had sat and he had let Hamilton meet all of the individual people who were part of his crew one by one by one? That would have taken up the whole first act.
And it would have been a lot less powerful.
It would have sucked, So, that was a big thing that I really appreciated out of the show. Another thing I really appreciated out of the special was that how in-depth these actors got. I loved how the guy who played George Washington went to Mount Vernon. He toured the place, and he was talking about how he had to grasp with the fact that George Washington owned slaves. And he was like, I will never be able to agree with that and see that as a good part of him, because it's not. But, he did great things for our country, and that was a big thing that they talked about, too, in the special, was that these people who built our country, they laid down these laws, they laid down these foundations that we still use today, but they were not perfect people. And that definitely with Hamilton is shown in the show, because, he has the affair, spoiler alert if you didn't know.
No.
He has the affair.
Oh, that's such a big spoiler, too.
Yeah, sorry.
I could pick up a history book.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But
it was the first, spoilers again, but it was the first,
big scandal,
huge affair
yeah,
to ever happen in American history.
Yeah, and then the
huge
fact
public
that,
affair, I should say.
He published it. He was like, "Hey guys, so this happened, but good news, didn't steal money from the government. Y'all just thought I did. JK was having an affair."
Yeah, but that kind of, like you were saying, it's about the idea that these people weren't immortals, and it drives me crazy when, particularly now in modern political landscape, like people try to say, whatever the founders said, whatever the founders wanted, and I'm like,
the founders were not perfect.
Yeah.
They weren't perfect people. Like they had ideas and like good ideas, and they had plans for the betterment of America. But that doesn't mean they were perfect, and it doesn't mean they never made mistakes. I mean, George Washington's one of my favorite historical figures, and he owned slaves. Like, bottom line, he owned slaves.
Yeah.
So you can't get past that and be like, oh, he was perfect. He wasn't perfect, and he had flaws, and he understood that he had flaws, and that's what makes me respect him most, is that he knew he wasn't the perfect individual, But like they were talking about in there, it's like you can't have an accurate portrayal of them if you don't portray the flaws, but you also can't have an accurate portrayal if you don't put them together.
Yeah.
You know, like they were saying it drives people crazy. What drives people crazy is that people try to isolate them as either good or bad, and no one's good or bad. They're both.
It's very black and white.
You know,
it's
you
very
can't.
gray. They try to make it black and white, and it's very gray.
Yeah,
with
but
everybody.
That's why I think the show was more successful.
Yeah, and they really showed it in the special. But I also really enjoyed the fact that how it wasn't all sat down and filmed in 2016. They really showed it.
There was
for
a lot of progression.
Really, course of time. They really showed Lynn over the 7 years. Like you saw him with like his short hair from Into the Heights, and you saw him with like the long hair, then you saw him with the short hair again like he has now, and it was so great. And so many people were interviewed. A lot of politicians. Obama got interviewed. He interviewed his dad. Lynn interviewed his own dad, and he said how Hamilton really, for him, he felt that he was actually telling the story of his own father who came from Puerto Rico and built a family here and established all that. And I really liked that. And I also really liked how it was 2 weeks, I believe, after Lynn's son was born, but how he was saying how Hamilton's own son had just been born for him. The show was starting, and he felt like he could relate a lot to Hamilton at the time when, right after they had just won Yorktown, they were establishing the country. So that was really cool.
Well, he kind of got really emotional and was like,
Oh, yeah.
my character is going through the exact same situations I'm going through it now, and it's crazy. It was definitely a really nice backstage look of sorts, and definitely into the mind of Lynn.
Yeah.
Which is really refreshing, because I was worried it was just going to be, PBS documentaries can go either way.
Oh, yeah.
You never really know, and with this, I think they did a fantastic job.
No, they did it. Yeah, they killed it. They killed it with this, but
and if you missed it,
it's on PBS Live. You can stream it online, and I highly, highly recommend seeing that because you do get to watch them do performances. The original cast, you get to see them do some on stage, and you get to see them do some of the White House and all that. So it was very well done overall. Very well done.
Very good documentary.
How long was it?
It's like an hour and 25 minutes.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it really wasn't that long, and it went by pretty quick.
It flies by for
yeah.
sure. I was like, oh, okay, and then it started again. And I was like, oh, maybe it's part 2. No.
No, just didn't watch it
no.
again. Oh, true dedication, Matt. True dedication. But next topic, Hairspray Live. So this is gonna be aired December 8th, 7th, I believe.
Sure, man.
Somewhere around that. Sorry, I don't have the exact date written down. I'll look that up in a second.
I thought it was the 7th.
I think I told you already.
I think
the
it is
7th.
the 7th.
Yeah, so I think
Who
it is
knows
the 7th.
with network TV, right? They could just
Yeah.
reschedule it.
Yeah.
Anytime they
Could.
want.
Who knows? But it is actually going to be an NBC. And what they're doing is going to be really cool. They kind of did this a little bit in Grease Live. Now, Grease Live wasn't on NBC. It was on Fox, I believe.
Right.
But if you looked while you were watching the performance, they had some audience members sitting in the gym.
Yeah.
When they were doing the gym scene, when they were on TV, and yada, 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 all that.
Mm-hmm.
With Hairspray, what they're going to be doing is they're going to be taking the audience and kind of taking that same concept and putting them on the Corny Collins show. So, because
That's
they
cool.
have a live audience for that, and it's really cool. Yeah, that'll be great. They're not putting the whole audience in. Obviously, that would be way too big. Yeah, they just said that they're taking like a little bit of the audience and putting it in with the show and incorporating it, so they're there with it. But what's gonna be really cool about Hairspray is that this is gonna be the biggest TV production of a musical like this. It's going to be bigger than The Sound of Music, Peter Pan, and The Wiz. And the guys who did all those three, Neil Mirren and Craig Zadin, are also doing Hairspray Live. So, and they even said it's going to be bigger than Grease.
Oh wow.
So I
Oh.
believe they said that they're like building like another 2 lots for it or something like that.
But weren't like Peter Pan and Sound of Music like not
no.
great?
Sound of Music, I believe Peter Pan was better than Sound of Music.
No.
Not by much.
The Wiz was good.
The Wiz was good. Yeah, The Wiz was supposed to be fantastic.
Sound of Music was just bad casting.
But that was the first one they did, right? So maybe they're
Yeah,
getting like
no, they're not getting
progressively
better.
better.
Well, I'll tell you real quick. The cast of Hairspray, Ariana Grande.
who's she playing?
She's Amanda
Oh,
Bynes' character in the show.
Okay, yeah.
What's her name? Penny?
Penny,
She's
yeah.
playing Penny. Also,
Who's playing Link? I want to know.
Cameron. Shoot. I have his name. But I can tell you, like, Derek Huff is in it. Jennifer Hudson's in it.
Ooh.
Kristen Chenoweth. And a bunch of other really, like, big, popular people like that. So that'll be a really cool show when we get there.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. But there we go. That is all I have for Broadway news. So if you want to go ahead and hit him with the local stuff, Matt.
Are you saying I have to do my segment now? Like,
Oh my God. Are you ready for this?
you could have told me.
Are you ready to give
ahead
the
of time.
people
I
what they
didn't
want to hear?
prepare. I have nothing prepared. Yeah, so we got some shows in the local area. Whatever Happened to Baby Jane is still at the Hippodrome and will be through November 6th. So if you're looking for a Halloween show, check that out. If you're not going to see Medea over the weekend.
Please don't.
We're going to talk about that later. But anyway, yeah, Whatever Happened to Baby Jane is at the Hippodrome through November 6th. Pretty good production. I've heard a lot of good things. The reviews were pretty solid, so definitely worth checking out. And then, of course, also still running is Commander at the ART, the Crosstown Repertory Theater. And that'll be running, this is its last weekend. So be sure to check that out. Again, that's pretty topical. It's about whether or not the United States is ready for a gay president. So sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, it's an issue that, who knows, within the next 20 or so years, that could happen.
Yeah, exactly. It's actually kind of scary to think that they're not. Like, human rights are a thing, guys. But
yeah,
it's interesting because we have, with the amount of people supporting Trump and all of those things, it is kind of an interesting question because it seems like a no-brainer. Like, yeah, of course, they're people, but I don't know if the United States would handle a gay president very well, or if they'd elect them.
Yeah,
it's kind of interesting.
I think America is kind of a people where we kind of like to think of ourselves as a little more progressive than some of us actually are.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's true.
So like, if you were to like poll the question around, people would be like, yeah, sure, like people are free to do what they want to do. But then like, if it actually happened, then he was like a major candidate. He or she was a major candidate, then it'd be like, well,
people would be looking at him, kissing his boyfriend or husband, like,
like that's not the American way.
Yeah,
drives me crazy. But yeah, I mean, it really is an interesting show. So if you have a chance to check it out, it's its Florida premiere, and it's not a show you're going to see all the time. Definitely more of like an indie type show. So if you can, see Commander at the ART. The Crosstown Repertory Theater needs your help. It's a really cool local theater, and I'm sure they'd appreciate it. And then, of course, opening this weekend for the University of Florida Theater Department is Spring Awakening. I don't know. Have you guys heard of Spring Awakening? I know I talked to Isabella about it last year.
Yeah. I know you've talked about it.
I've seen flyers.
Yeah,
Flyers.
That's the extent of my knowledge. Is I've seen flyers that I haven't read.
I go on campus occasionally. It's really cool,
around.
guys. Like, it's one of my favorite musicals. It was actually the first musical that I got like really into, and it's about, I guess because I was a teenager at the time, but it's kind of about going through the change from adolescent to adulthood and like how hard that is, and particularly with like not great parents or with not great friends. And it's also kind of about like questioning sexuality and like how that goes from, this is wrong to, it's particularly how you're brought up to, okay, I have to accept this. Definitely a really cool show. And honestly, even though the show is kind of like, it can get a little bit cheesy at times or, a little too much, the music is phenomenal. So it's worth just going to see just for the music. I really do think so.
When are the dates again for that?
That opens this Thursday night,
and it
goes through November 6th. So you have
cool.
2 weekends. And next week it's playing Tuesday through Sunday.
If you
Wednesday,
are a UF student, do you get like some sort of discount?
I'm getting there.
It's like,
I'm getting there,
okay.
Sabrina.
Okay.
I'm getting there.
All right, Matt. And?
Tickets are $13 for students, $18 for public.
Okay.
That was the next sentence out of my mouth, Sabrina.
Well,
she read your
things
mind.
come to people
I
who
read
wait.
your mind. Yeah.
So if
That's
you're a
another
UF
musical.
student, you can save that $5 and use it to buy some snacks after.
Yes.
Or sneak them in. Wait, I didn't say that.
No.
Wait, I didn't say that.
We
Hold on.
we here on Art Things Considered do not advocate
I would
for...
never take a thing of Bunch of Crunch, put it in a Ziploc bag, and put that in my pocket. That would be wrong.
That's
We
Okay.
do not
Morally-
advocate for smuggling snacks into shows.
That's
Or
a
movie
good topic.
theaters,
We
for
should
that
talk about that
matter.
next. Anyway,
We should.
that's Nico, our spokesperson.
that's gonna the smuggling
approve this
snacks in the
message.
theaters spokesperson, the breaking the law spokesperson. That's gonna wrap up the local theater segment again. Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, Commander at the ART, and Spring Awakening at the Constance Theater for UF are all open this weekend, so be sure to check them out. And now, our TV topic of the week.
All right. So
She's so excited.
yeah. Okay. So instead of talking about just like one TV show or what I've been watching or what I've been thinking about watching or anything. I've decided since Halloween's coming up, maybe we could just like have a blast from the past sort of thing where we talk about our favorite Halloween specials that have aired on TV with shows that are very popular in pop culture and very engraved. So I've brought a list of my shows that I really like. And I personally love the Friends Halloween episode, and it's just
there are a couple.
Yeah. Well, okay, yeah, that's true.
There are 10 seasons of that show.
Yeah.
I mean, but like you're talking about the one with the party, right?
Yeah, it's the episode's literally called The One with the Halloween Party. So, yeah, if you don't know which one I'm talking about, it's the one with the Halloween party, and it's the one where Ross comes in. And, you know, Ross is just like this weird, nerdy type character. So he comes in dressed as a potato with antennas. And
it's pretty solid.
Everyone's like, what are you?
I love
and
it.
he's like, oh, I'm Spudnik. Like Sputnik.
No. He goes, I'm a spud.
And then he points to his antennas. And then they're like, what? Like, they're just don't.
I think my favorite part of that episode, though, is that like Mona gets it.
Yeah. She comes in and she's like, oh, you're Spudnik. And Chandler's like, marry her.
Yeah. No, Chandler's running around with the rabbit outfit.
Yeah.
I love that.
So funny. Great. And then Rachel's also like giving out money to kids instead of candy, because I think they were giving out candy, but she gave like this one cute adorable girl all the candy.
I know
they
this
had.
episode by heart, so
yeah, I can tell.
So the little girl walks up and knocks on the door, and you know Rachel's having a baby, so she's feeling emotional about kids, and she like does a little twirl, and she's like, "Oh, you're so cute, you deserve extra candy." And then she does it again, and she's really sweet, and the princess just goes, "Oh my God, I love you."
Yeah,
and Rachel goes, "Oh my God, you
like,
know what? You get it all." And she dumps the whole thing.
And then the other kids that come, they don't have candy, so she starts writing them checks, like just giving them money. Yeah, it's great. So
and then the little kid comes up to the door and he's like, "I heard you were giving out money. This isn't fair." And it's so
yeah, it's great.
10 out of 10 episode.
Yes, another 10 out of 10 episode, in my humble opinion, is That 70s Show episode, the Halloween special, where they kind of spoof Alfred Hitchcock's famous movies like The Birds. They do a spoof of Psycho with like Laurie in the shower, or no, it's Kelso in the shower, and then Laurie opens it and then she like stabs him with a shampoo bottle, and it's like the exact same setup and everything. It's great. I love it. And they also do like Vertigo with Eric. He's like afraid to go on the roof for some reason, and every time he goes up, he gets like really lightheaded, and then it plays like the little like Vertigo music. I don't know. I just love, that's probably my favorite Halloween episode. So
I think my favorite thing about that is just like they actually attempt to mimic the style, you know. They
do. That's what makes it so great, and it's just so different. I don't know. A lot of people I'm surprised I've met, they really don't like That 70s Show, and I'm always like, what? Because I love that show. That's probably one of my favorite shows ever.
A classic.
It's one of those shows, though, where like at first you don't like it. Like if you only watched one or two episodes, or you only tuned in out of order, it's like it's funny, but it puts you off because it is a style that's kind of like
you're not sure where it's going and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, but if you really commit to it, it's hilarious.
It is. It's really hilarious. I always know like it's gonna start like dropping though, like quality wise, once Donna like dyes her hair blonde. That's kind of like my frame of reference. Like after she dyes her hair is when I know that she's not gonna like do well.
Here we go.
Yeah, or whatever. Okay, so next
the show
episode
goes down in quality at that point.
Yeah.
Next. Shout out to Ashton Kutcher and Danny Masterson. Those are my guys too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
they're in the show again.
Yeah,
but
see them
on
Netflix on The Ranch.
It's not good. Have you watched The Ranch?
Oh no, those are just my guys. You know.
I'm not going to support them by watching their show. What? Why would I do that?
No, I was a Punk'd fan, so.
That was good too.
Yeah. I think it's really cute that him and Mila Kunis are like
they're a couple.
They're a couple and they have babies. Like that just makes me so happy because in my mind it's just Jackie and Kelso.
I always forget that.
Yeah, it's weird, but
I forgot that was a thing until just now.
Yep.
Yep. I love it. Well, okay. So another episode that's like really memorable that a lot of people really like is like the earlier episodes or the early seasons of The Office. They had a Halloween episode in season 2 where I like it because it's like, I don't know, I love the early like Jim and Pam, like Solid. Will they or won't they things. And then also it's also funny because like Michael has to fire somebody. And they're all the entire episode. They're just like really worried about like who it's gonna be.
Love it.
And I have to
no
rewatch
spoilers
it.
on like the rest of the show because I'm on like halfway through season 3. I'm actually watching it. I'll talk about that later, guys. Don't worry. I'll fill you in. But I love this episode mostly because he tries to fire somebody. And the epitome of, like, the best thing about the show The Office is that none of them are, like, well, some of them are, but particularly Michael is not proficient at his job. Like, he's just not good at his job. He's not able to do anything. He can't even sign paperwork.
I know.
Like,
Pam has to like sneak it around him. And just be like, oh, like, hey, like here, just like sign off on this. Sign this thing that is not.
So if anyone
paperwork.
should have been fired, it like
should have been him.
Should have been him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's like still.
Somehow he makes it through so long.
Yeah.
But my favorite thing about that episode is just like he goes through 3 people to fire. Like he has an idea
who is
of
it
who
again?
he wants.
I forget.
Creed is
he
one of them.
originally wants
Creed
to fire
one of them.
Creed,
and then who?
Meredith. Creed, definitely Creed and Meredith. That's for sure. Because
but the person he actually fires is the person I can't remember.
But that's because they're irrelevant. That's why.
Touche.
Yeah.
I
forget who he
bad,
actually fires.
But I hated Creed, so I wished he'd fired him.
Oh, I love Creed. I love Creed so much. You start to really appreciate Creed in the later seasons. You'll see. You'll see.
Because right now
I have to rewatch it.
Oh man.
Ugh,
yeah.
This guy. That's how I feel right now. This guy who steals.
One of my favorite things about like it being Halloween time though, especially with TV, is like as a kid, especially Disney Channel, they made such a big deal about it being like October, and they had like the countdowns or what was it? It's not like the 30 days of Halloween.
I think it was 13 days.
13 days? Or was that ABC Family, now Freeform?
I think that might have been ABC Family.
Yeah. But
Disney had their own thing.
They did.
That was a great plug.
I thought it was like Spook Week.
For Freeform.
Did you see the way it transitioned?
Yeah.
ABC Family.
Now
Freeform.
Yeah.
No.
Sponsoring this week's show.
The other night I watched Twitches and then I watched one of the Halloween Town movies.
How dare you?
Yes.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff.
It was great. I think my favorite like Disney Channel Halloween episode though is definitely the Sweet Life of Zach and Cody episode.
Nothing will ever beat that on Disney Channel. I'm convinced.
I love that episode so much. Like it's the one where I think there's like a hotel suite that's haunted.
Yeah, there's a ghost in
There's a ghost in there, and then they have to go in there, and then Esteban, the bellboy, he like of course starts like speaking to the spirits or whatever. I actually watched a clip of that the other day.
Oh my
and
god.
It was way more dark than I thought.
That episode
it was.
I rewatched the other day. It was on Facebook. I literally sat and watched it on my phone because it was scrolling through Facebook and I saw it. I was like, I can't not watch this right now. And that scene, it is very creepy. When he gets like possessed by the ghost.
I don't know why like my mom thought that was like, oh yeah, definitely watch this guy get possessed. Like I don't know why that was like acceptable for me to watch. I don't know. I was like 9 when that came out.
I was kind of scared by that episode as a
kid.
I
was scared. I think that movie or that episode was like scarier to me than like watching Halloween.
Oh yeah.
Which is like an actual scary movie.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that episode freaked me out a lot. And then of course, honorable mention, Lizzie McGuire episode where it was like they're trying to prank that mean girl. What was her name? Kate. Yeah.
Oh, Kate.
Yeah, she was terrible. And then Miranda's parents are like a Mexican. And then they had like the Dia de los Muertos like dolls that they brought in, and then they like come to life or whatever. That was also like a really scary episode.
It was ridiculous, but okay.
Yeah, it was ridiculous, but as a kid, do you really care? No, you're like eating it up. I still eat it up. I would totally watch that.
I do miss those though. Like I think my favorite Halloween movie isn't even like a real movie. It was the werewolf one they did with the on I think it was ABC Family. It might have been Disney. but they have like the actor who's in the American Pie movies, and like this is the only thing he's done since then. And he does that movie, and he's like a werewolf, and he's marrying this woman, and it's amazing. And then they never showed it ever again.
It's amazing.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. My mom's on a date with a vampire.
No, that's a completely different. Okay. I said werewolf, and you got to vampire. That's a Disney movie, but that is a very good Disney movie.
It is.
All of the Halloween-themed Disney movies are pretty solid.
I love Phantom of the Megaplex. That was
better.
like my favorite Disney like Halloween movie.
I liked that better than I like Phantom of the Opera. Not that I love Phantom of the Opera.
No,
but still.
Matt really doesn't like Phantom of the Opera. So
no, I don't either, to be honest.
That movie was better. It was comedic and it was good.
Yeah, it was like
Phantom of the Opera's not meant to be comedic.
Yeah,
Phantom of the Opera is not meant to be entertaining.
Oh, okay.
Shots.
We will be having words.
Just
after
shots,
the
not fired. Just shots.
Just shots. But I think Halloween Town is one of my favorite Disney Halloween movies. That's a good one. That's good. And then
okay.
I like that one.
I see how it is. Gonna pull a classic on us.
What?
All right, well, why don't we go around the room? What's everyone's favorite Halloween movie?
Like Disney Channel movies or just like overall Halloween?
Halloween movies or horror movies is fine. But like if we do Disney Channel movies, we're gonna be here a long time,
Right. Well, I don't know. I think my favorite Halloween movie, like scary movie, is the original Halloween with Jamie Lee Curtis. But I think my favorite scary movie, like overall, is actually Scream.
That's not a scary movie.
I don't know. I like it. I remember watching it when I was like 15 and getting scared.
15, man.
Yeah. My mom was really like, I don't want you watching scary things. Da, 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 da. So I never got to like actually watch scary things until I was like in my mid-teens.
Touche.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Jamie Kennedy. That was my guy in that movie.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's my guy in real life, too,
Like, you guys dating. Yeah,
we're tight. No.
No, I feel it.
No, that's my guy.
Nico, what's your favorite? Let's go through them.
I mean, I love horror movies, period. I'm a big fan of the more, like, 80s, 90s, like, slashers, and then, like, older kind of, like, more practical effect type movies, because I'm really big on the effects, like, I don't know. The CGI doesn't do it for me.
Nah, that's fair. Sometimes it takes you out of it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Any particular ones pop to mind, or
that I really, really enjoyed?
Yeah.
The Nightmare on Elm Street series, like, even though they got a little outlandish after like the third movie, I mean, I really enjoy watching that. I mean, 2 isn't all that great to me, but 3 is pretty good. Friday the 13th is a classic. And for my campy fans out there, I'm a huge From Dusk Till Dawn fan.
Oh,
the movie's great.
It's not that campy.
I mean, it's a culty movie.
Yeah.
The show on El Rey Network
that's campy.
Is great. No, the show's great.
You don't think that's campy?
I definitely recommend the show. The show makes the movie that much better. Like, it expands on the whole.
It's good.
Story.
It's just the effects and the budget are pretty low. So.
I mean, for what it's worth, I think it's great. I really like the guy who picked it.
It's on Netflix now.
It is. First 2 seasons.
If anyone's looking to watch it,
please go watch it. It's a great show. Yeah. If you're into like weird stuff, though.
Hey, let me think.
And big pistols, because
is that another one of the movies you like for Halloween?
No. Just
you just like in the show. Okay, that makes sense.
Seth carries a big. Never mind.
All right.
Anyway,
moving on.
Matt likes Halloween movies too. I know. I think my favorite Halloween movie, like all my favorite Halloween movies are generally on TV, but my favorite scary movie would have to be Devil, and not because it's good, but because I've watched that movie more times than I'd like to share.
Wait, isn't that
That's
the
M. Night.
elevator movie.
The elevator one, right?
Yeah,
it's the M. Night elevator movie.
It's a really good movie.
No.
It's really fun, and there are moments that are just really funny, but it's also kind of good in terms of horror. Like, it's definitely got suspense the first time you watch it.
Yeah, that first watch, I was terrified, honestly.
Oh, really?
It was really bad.
But I really liked it, and I liked how much thought went into it, and I like thought-provoking horror movies. I don't like just like gory ones as much, so that one's mine.
Have you seen It Follows?
I thought that was so.
It Follows
me
was
too,
really,
actually.
really, really weird.
It won so many awards, and so did Babadook. And I'm just like, neither of
To
those
me-
movies made me scared.
To me,
Babadook
It
was
Follows
actually- I
was
thought it
kind
was
of just
pretty
like a
alright.
really long, like STD prevention,
PSA?
like
Exact-
it was
PSA
like a
type
really-
thing.
The Babadook
Yeah.
trailer freaked me
But
out.
the Babadook like was a good movie. I just didn't think it was scary. Like I didn't understand that people thought it was a horror movie. I was like, it's at most a thriller. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't that scary. Anyway, Isabella, what's yours?
Okay, so I don't really watch a lot of scary horror
Same.
stuff because I'm literally that person when the toast comes out of the toaster, I like jump 5 feet in the air. So I tend not to watch. But so Halloween wise, I don't really have a favorite, Halloween Town. But scary wise, not the movie A Haunting in Connecticut, but the Discovery Channel documentary it was based off of, A Haunting. Like that one, because the movie, oh my God, I watched it when I was like in middle school or something like that, and it really freaked me and my best friend and our sisters out.
Okay.
But I just remember watching that and getting so freaked out, and I really enjoy it because like good memories. But the movie was just so over the top. Like we went, we saw it, and we were like, this like sucks compared to the Discovery Channel documentary, like because they make it look very lifelike, and they don't do over the top. So that one always scares me. So that's my scary movie TV episode type thing. So there we go.
All right.
I'm glad she knows the category.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Is that gonna wrap up the TV topic of the week?
It is, Matt. It is.
All right. Guess what we're moving on to, guys?
Movies?
Video games.
Oh,
you.
I
And
skipped
movies,
a couple.
news.
Sorry.
It's okay. I forgive you.
Yeah, I've only been doing this for 2 years now. A year and a half.
You'd think she's the rookie.
Yeah. Nah, that's fair.
Nico, go ahead and hit us with some comic book news.
Okay, so in comic book news, first things first, we need to talk about this Logan trailer.
Oh my God, yes we do.
So emotional.
Yes.
Oh,
It was so emotional. You see aged Wolverine and aged Professor X, who looks like he's on a hospital bed in the middle
Like
of
legitimately.
in the middle of the Cerebro
Like,
room.
Yeah.
I literally saw Charles and I was like, oh my God, he's dead. Like they literally are showing his dead body like sitting there. But then he like started moving and breathing and talking. I was like, oh, thank God. So like,
And then you see the setting, just like the little snippets that they show when they're outside. It's just like he looks like they're in a wasteland. Like everything is
like,
gone.
what is this?
Gone to garbage.
Where
Just-
are the mutants? Why does it look like there's no one else on the planet except for them and the people hunting them down? I need to know because I
Yeah.
thought this got fixed in Days of Future Past, and obviously it did not.
And not to mention the soundtrack with the saddest song ever made ever in the history of all mankind.
Yes.
You guys can go and look that up. That is fact. Look it up on Google.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny Cash is hurt.
Oh, that hit me in the feels, man.
Oh my
Very
God.
deep.
Bad.
Hit me very deep.
Which is- and it's just-
Hardcore in the feels.
And that's
If you
just,
ever just need to cry about nothing at all, just go ahead and play
Literally.
that song.
I remember I would cry to that song all the time because that was like my cry song.
Oh, no.
And so when that trailer came on, I was just like, I'm not ready.
You just think of all the wrong you've ever done in your life to anybody.
Yeah, and how you've hurt them.
but
And
what
how they've hurt you.
what killed me though was that I feel like where Logan is, that song is him. He is the
Yeah.
song, and that's
Right.
why
And
it
like
just the trailer just hurt so much.
It hurts.
Oh, God.
just looking at
Keyword
some
is
of the,
hurt.
Hurts.
just
Right.
looking at some of the images, like you see his scarred body, like obviously his regenerating powers
Yeah.
don't work as they used to, and
What is
and
going
you see
on?
his
His
hands on the
hair's
sink.
graying.
His hands on the sink, and there's blood where his claws come out.
And he's supposed to be immortal. So, like,
He's
what the heck?
shaking like
and he has this
Yeah.
old.
I think it really has something to do with the whole apocalypse or the whole Days of Future
That
Past
he went
thing.
back.
Well, because I don't remember seeing him in a no spoilers.
He wasn't
something
a-
about
he-
the ending of Days of Future Past
Yeah,
makes
yeah.
me think that something, he's back, but is he still him? Is he completely himself?
Yeah,
Is what I'm wondering.
That's true. I know what you're hinting
Yeah,
at.
I get you.
without,
that was really
without
weird how they ended
giving a
it with
spoiler.
him.
I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, think it through, guys.
yeah.
No. I catch your drift.
Something happened.
But yeah, folks.
If
the
you haven't
movie-
seen it, all we're saying is go watch the trailer.
please go watch the trailer. The movie looks like it's gonna be great. Hopefully, this will be a great send off.
I hope so, man.
Mr. Jackman.
I'm pumped for Lil Wolverine. Little
the
girl Wolverine to come tearing it up in there.
X-23, right?
X-23, yeah. She looks very, very serious. Like,
very
you don't
serious.
see her too much, but she looks kind of like she's, like, inherited some of his mannerisms from earlier on.
For
where he doesn't really care too much about where he doesn't really care too much about anything but himself.
No,
and he's just trying to, like...
One thing that kind of cracked me up in the trailer was the part, that resembled the poster where she's grabbing his hand, and she kind of has on these, like, little girl sunglasses. Like, it's, like... That kind of was, like, funny for me because it was like, oh, my gosh, like, she's so little, like, her outfit doesn't match, she doesn't look... But then at the same time, I was like, oh, my God, like, she's so little, like, her sunglasses don't even match, profusely cries,
she's dealing with this,
yeah. To hurt in the background.
So, yes, folks, always remember, Logan will let you down and he will make you hurt.
Oh, my God.
Just like Tim Miller will let you down and make you hurt.
Great segue.
Oh.
He got me so sad. I was so excited for the sequel, and now I'm I don't know. Like, what do you think, man?
Yes, folks. For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, Tim Miller, the director of the original Deadpool movie, which everyone loved.
Not everyone.
Well, did you not love it?
I did not.
What?
Yeah,
Get
I know.
out of here.
I wasn't gonna
right
say
now.
anything because I wanted to be cool.
Take your headphones off.
Get out.
Step away from the microphone
I did
and walk out of this room.
not like it.
Why?
I liked it for the exact same reason that people love Deadpool. It's the fourth wall thing constantly being broken. It's like, I get it. Like, I do get it. And then they included that joke from all the trailers. Did I leave the stove on?
Well, yeah.
Oh God. And people were like, I couldn't do it. I'm sorry.
Well,
So
I liked it
too much fourth wall
to an extent.
Okay.
And then by the end of it, I was just like, I didn't even stay till like the very past the credits. I mean, I did go to see it 10 o'clock at night. I was really tired.
Why did you not like? You haven't said anything that says you don't like the movie. Why don't you?
No, I did. It's the too much breaking the fourth wall for me. I was like, I get that's why people love Deadpool, and I get that's his thing.
That's
Deadpool.
the essence of
yeah,
it.
yeah, exactly.
Character.
So it's just like, that's fine. Like, if that's what you like about it, it's fine. I'm not going to argue with you.
It's not that we like it about it. It's just
like
you can't do Deadpool without constantly breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah. So it's just like not my
cup of tea.
Superhero movie.
So I mean, getting back on topic here.
So what is happening?
Tim Miller, who directed the first Deadpool movie, has dropped out of the planned sequel, claiming creative differences with one Ryan Reynolds, who is the executive producer, I believe.
He's a producer. I think he just renegotiated his contract.
Yeah, so
and Miller was working on doing the same thing.
He has a little more say-so in the creative process.
Which makes sense.
Well,
I mean,
he's had
he
a lot
doesn't
of
want it
say-so
to
this whole
go
time.
bad. I mean, yeah, but you got to imagine he was trying to make this movie for 11 years.
Yeah.
So he doesn't want to see it get messed up. And based on what Tim Miller was saying, to be honest with you, the final straw was the casting of Cable, and he wanted to cast a young Cable.
He wanted to cast Kyle Chandler.
Yeah,
I don't think he's right
Friday
for
Night
it
Lights.
at all.
Isn't Cable supposed to be kind of an older dude?
He's supposed to be an old
his
school
character,
guy.
He's
So
supposed
wait,
to look.
who wanted to hire the younger one, Reynolds or?
That was
Miller.
Tim
No, the
Miller.
director.
He wanted to.
Okay, bye. Then you can leave then.
Because Cable is a guy. He looks old. Like he
Yeah.
has the cybernetics and
Yeah, and I remember.
what's the term? The term they use is techno-organics.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
But he has like white hair, so
Yeah, I
he's
remember
like
in the comics
typically an
he's very
older
wrinkled,
looking guy.
very older.
It doesn't make sense to me to have a really young Cable, and I didn't agree with that. And I also didn't agree with his thing. Like he said, he wanted to make it a lot more stylized.
Yeah,
and
rather than the raunchy comedy,
I think
which
he was going for like a more Punisher style, and like that's not what Deadpool needs. So I'm glad that he's moving on because I think really he enjoyed making Deadpool, and I think now he wants to make a different type of movie. But that doesn't mean you make a different type of movie as a sequel to the movie you did.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess in a way, some people make it like. I mean, some people might get tired of the whole extra raunchy comedy type feel, which I mean, they can probably cut down on a little bit.
I mean, I think it's a matter of being true to Deadpool, and Deadpool is comedic. Like the biggest thing about Deadpool is that even though he, spoilers, like gets ruined as an individual, he is still funny.
Yeah.
Right.
So like if you take that omnipresent comedy out, I think that ruins the character. And so I
don't think it was necessarily that he was trying to take it all out. It's kind of like he was probably trying to like trim a little bit. Well, I mean, we'll see where it goes. I hope they keep a lot of the comedy in.
Me too.
So
well, I mean, we'll see. Like bottom line, Tim Miller's not going anywhere. He's got an overall deal with them. He's going to do another trilogy where he'll get to do a stylized action film.
Right.
And we'll see what happens with the sequel. I mean, it's a little bit put behind because of the Switch. But I really do think it'll be good. And I think anyone who liked the first one will love the second one just because a big part of that was Ryan Reynolds. And they're going to have to find somebody to match the visual style, I think. But
right.
I think they'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it'll all work out.
Who do you guys think would be a good casting for Cable?
I think they've talked about it a little bit, but
I was gonna say I don't know the guy's name, but he was the guy from Avatar.
Oh, the old general guy. Yeah, they were talking about him.
I think he looks. I mean, even in that movie, he kind of looked like his character in that movie looked a little bit like. And then he uses techno-organ. No, it's just a robot, but you get what I'm saying. Even in that movie, he kind of looks like the character.
You gotta get someone very
we'll
square
update
faced
them.
like that.
You know, we'll update you guys
when they release whoever they're casting. We'll definitely get that in the show.
We'll hit it up for you guys.
Next, the incomparable Donald Glover, which is how you must speak his name, has been cast.
That's his new title.
Yeah, you have to say the whole thing like a Tribe Called Quest. He has been cast as young Lando Calrissian in oh, that was great.
I've been waiting to hear that for so long.
In the Han Solo prequel film.
This is the only thing that gives me hope for the Han Solo prequel.
They just I saw a photo taking his face and putting it right next to Lando, and I was just like, the mere perfection of this. Like they could not have got anybody better
or anyone funnier.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Or anyone more genius, or like
Okay, guys. Okay, just calm down. So anyway,
Can
bottom
you tell
line,
we're
we have
excited?
we have nothing else other than hey, he was cast. That's awesome.
So the film is set for a 2018 release, so there's a lot of time in between, and we're gonna see where it goes. I do believe that the incomparable Donald Glover will bring his greatness to this role and make the movie worth seeing.
Yes.
And just for kicks, I'm still on the Donald for Spider-Man train, even though he's been cast for the movie, but they haven't announced his role yet. But
we'll
fingers
see, man.
crossed.
I hope he's Miles Morales, but I don't think so.
I hope so too. That's like who I've always wanted him to be.
I hope, but I really don't think that it makes sense in the Marvel universe to introduce that type of character. That's the only reason I don't think it's going to happen. I'd love to see it.
I mean, yet.
But yeah, it'll be like Phase 5.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He might be introduced now as like a non-Batman or a non-Spider-Man character that is Miles Morales and becomes Miles Morales, the Amazing Spider-Man.
I mean, that would be interesting to see because that would set up more movies.
Yeah. That'd be really interesting.
Also this week, another trailer released for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Oh my god. Yes.
We don't get a lot from this trailer. We see that the main cast has returned. Even the I forget the guy's name. Baby Groot is in the movie, everybody.
Announcement.
He's definitely confirmed. Baby Groot is in the movie.
Were you talking about the blue guy with the pen?
Yeah.
You know,
I forget his name.
The whistle guy.
Well, he has to be because, you know, one of the big plot lines they're talking about, potential plot lines is, you know, the father being in there. So if they're going to be talking about his father,
because he knew who his dad was, right?
Yeah, he did.
Exactly.
I mean, he seemed. I really liked his character in the last movie.
Yeah.
So
he was very good. Yeah.
Yeah. It's set for a summer 2017 release. So.
Wow, that's soon.
Yeah.
That's sooner than I thought.
I knew it was coming out summer 2017. Guys, the first one came out 2014. Every 3 years.
Oh my goodness.
Did.
Marvel, man. It feels like yesterday, but guys, it was a while back.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
That's very exciting.
Moving on, in video game news, we have Battlefield 1 reviews, which are looking pretty strong. IGN gives it a 9.0. They credit it with having a strong story, and the multiplayer seems really, really fun. They talk about how distinct each gun plays, and how it's not a lot of the sameness that was in Battlefield 4. and it's all set in World War I. So it's
what?
Cool.
Yeah. That's so cool.
They have things in there like
cool.
like the biplane, which looks really interesting to play as, because I would think somebody else has to co-pilot with you, and you guys have to be on the same page.
True, man.
But yeah, so I haven't played it yet. I'm definitely interested in getting it and playing it sometime in the near future. Also, Red Dead Redemption 2 has officially been announced. So all the teasers were
Was this what we were talking about last week?
Yeah.
Yes.
They finally they give us a very small teaser of the game. Doesn't really tell us much, but it does tell us when it's released, right?
It tells us that it will be releasing in fall 2017. So
it's sooner than I expected, honestly.
I mean, it could have been in the works for a while now, and they just haven't said anything.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what happened. They've probably been working on it since like GTA 5 came out, because Rockstar likes to focus on one project at a time. It seems like, at least for their major games. So definitely interested to see where that goes. But that wraps it up for me, folks.
Yeah, wrapped it up for me.
That's all, folks.
That was good.
Thanks,
I like that. Yeah. Moving on to the box office recap. I'm going to roll through the top 10, and we'll talk a little bit about last week's movies and this week's movies. Boo, Madea Halloween came out in number 1.
Oh, Lord.
Nico's dying a little on the inside.
Jokes on Jack Reacher, man. Jack Reacher had nearly twice as many theaters and made less.
Dang.
And it was a $60 million budget for Jack Reacher. I mean, the budget for Madea was like 20. Like,
oh my god.
Madea's making money. Madea always makes money. I just don't understand it. But whatever.
I have
People
nothing
will
to say
go
about
out
this.
for Tyler Perry movies.
You know what's hilarious, though? Is that for whatever reason, the Madea movie's been decently rated on Rotten Tomatoes.
Really?
Yeah. When
Maybe
I looked
it wasn't
up,
that bad then.
I don't know.
No, I mean, listen, when I watched the trailer, personally for me, just seeing Madea in like those type of scary situations, I felt like that just fit, because her character would not be down for any of that, Like she'd be like, oh, hell nah. Like, love it. But that was personally my opinion. I know Nico was feeling a little different on that.
I just can't do it. I can't get past the premise. Like, it seems so forced. Like, he's just trying to do something for the sake of doing something. And I mean, I respect your grind, I respect your hustle, but
yeah, that's what I'm about to say.
Sometimes you need to like leave things where they are.
Yeah, I think Madea Halloween was a mistake. But hey, making money,
definitely a reach.
Tyler Perry got the
reach.
last laugh when he saw how much
Smooth.
it made opening.
That was really
weekend.
smooth.
Thanks, Nico. Yeah, Jack Reacher, Never Go Back, as I so smoothly transitioned into. Made $23 million. Number 2 spot, Ouija, Origin of Evil. That made $14.06 million and already made more than its budget.
Oh my god.
$9 million was its budget, so it's making money, even though it looks pretty mediocre, but apparently there are some decent reviews for that movie as well, so we'll see.
I can't handle movies like that, man.
A sequel to a bad horror movie is just the worst for me. Number 4, The Accountant, $14 million. Number 5, The Girl on the Train, still kicking around making some money with $7.3 million. Miss Peregrine with $6 million. Keeping Up with the Joneses opened to a paltry $5.6 million. Not so good. They haven't released the budget on that movie. That scares me a little bit. And then, of course, Kevin Hart, What Now? Made another $4.1 million. I was a part of that $4.1 million, and I'll be talking about that later on. And then Storks and Deepwater Horizon are going to wrap up our top 10 with $4.1 million and $3.6 million, respectively. The movies that opened last weekend that we talked about, or this past weekend, Jack Reacher Never Go Back is at a 40% with critics and a 52% with audiences. Keeping Up with the Joneses an 18% with critics, 50% with audiences.
Wait, oh wow.
It's even worse.
That's a really big gap.
It's also rough. Ouija Origin of Evil, this is what I was talking about, guys. 66% with audiences, but 82% with critics, which is crazy.
What? It's probably pretty good then.
I don't know, man. I can't get past it.
Nah.
But also Moonlight, which actually set a record this year for theater average, made over 100,000 per theater. It opened in 4 theaters, limited release, and I guess it was huge because a lot of people loved it. It's at a 99% with critics and a 91% with audiences.
Wow.
and it looks darn good, man. I hope they do a wider release.
Which movie was that?
It's an A24 limited release. Hopefully it'll roll out to Gainesville at some point, but it's about like a really serious story. Feel free to check it out on IMDb, whatever you want, but it looks really good.
Moonlight?
Moonlight, yeah.
Okay.
It's A24. You guys know A24 films, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they do a lot of indie like weird movies, and they're so good.
Okay.
But opening this weekend, we've got Inferno. This is the second sequel to Da Vinci Code.
Oh my God! Wow!
It's already dying with the critics. It's
Tom Hanks
dying.
is in this one.
Yeah,
right?
I don't know why he came back.
Yeah.
Was he in the second one?
He was. Yeah, he was in Angels and Demons. He's Robert Langdon.
He's in all of them.
He can't. He's the character. He can't leave.
I think maybe they're thinking like, hey, like Tom Hanks. We've got Tom Hanks.
It'll make money.
We can't fail.
For a little longer, just
it'll either fail or it'll make money, but like it's a 50-50 shot, so I guess that's better than some movies.
They're just sitting around the table like, guys,
what can we give Tom Hanks to do?
It's Tom Hanks. He was in Castaway. Everybody loved him.
Everybody loves Castaway.
Everybody loves Castaway. Forrest Gump. Come on.
Yeah, that's the main release this weekend. There's not really much coming out, and then there's Adil Hai Mushkil, which is a foreign language film from Dubai. Thank you. It looks good. It's pretty well rated. A lot of people in the U.S., I guess, are excited about it, but it's a foreign language film. It's in Hindi, I believe, and it has subtitles for English, so we'll see about that. But if you guys want to check out something kind of different in the box office, check that out. And that's going to wrap up the movie segment. I'm going to move on to my thoughts.
All right, folks, it's about that time of the show again. You know exactly what time it is. TV, movies, pop culture. It's time to enter the mind of Matt. This is Matt's Thoughts.
Wow, I feel really happy right now.
Wow. I feel so bad we never got Nico to do for Erica. I feel like she really would have loved having his voice for her openings.
Oh, I feel like she would too. But if she ever comes back, she's more than welcome to come back and get a Nico entrance, the superior to us, which makes me kind of feel a little sad for us.
Just on a side note, this is great. This is like getting really official.
I like that. I like that I'm going to get a new one every week. It makes me super excited.
Yeah. All right, let's hear it. What do you got?
I have stuff.
Let's hear it.
Let's hear it.
Stuff and some things.
Just a couple quick things. The Office, I started watching it last week. Previously, I tried watching that show, and I just couldn't get into it. But as soon as I finished the first season all the way through and got connected to the characters, I fell in love with a couple of them. And that's what gets you to keep watching.
Exactly.
Yeah, a lot of NBC sitcoms for me are like that. Like, I really just have to get past the first season.
Yeah, everyone tells me that about Parks and Rec, too.
Yeah, especially. So
it makes sense because The Office is very similar in style. So I'm watching that. I'm about halfway through season 3, and I'm loving it. Particularly, Pam and Jim is just
I think
phenomenal.
What's happening right now in the season for you?
I don't know. I don't want to spoil it for other people. But I don't
know.
I
think rule of thumb for spoilers is if it's been off TV for like a couple of years, you can.
I think for season 3, you're okay. Just like saying like a summary
so
of where you are.
I'm at like halfway through. It's a couple episodes after the merger that went really hilariously with the Stanford office, and so that's where I'm at. So I'll keep you updated as I continue watching that. I saw Kevin Hart What Now this weekend. I don't think I've laughed this hard at a comedy special in years. I definitely haven't. Like Louis C.K.'s Beacon Theater special on Netflix is probably the closest I can remember laughing this hard. It was just so good, and he had a really cool short film that was kind of like tied into it. That was a kind of a parody of like James Bond. That was super dope. So definitely that itself is worth the price of admission if you haven't seen that yet. Finally finished rewatching Gilmore Girls.
Yay!
It was heartbreaking.
Yes.
To watch again, and it's so sad, but it is kind of nice to think that we get to see more. Like in less than a month, I get to see new Gilmore Girls, which is crazy.
I will definitely be talking about that in my TV segment, like for sure.
I've
been waiting for this for such a long time.
So have I. I've been. That's why I'm so excited. Mm-hmm. But yeah, and then the last thing is I thought this was hilarious, so I thought I'd share it with you guys. John Oliver offers Trump his Emmy in return for Trump accepting election results. I don't know if you guys saw this.
No, I did not see that.
But it was like, it's a joke, but he literally was just like...
That's such a John Oliver thing to do, too.
It really is, though. And it just made me really happy. So if you haven't seen that yet, the segment's online. He literally offers him his Emmy if he'll accept the election results, and it is wonderful. Lastly, Erica's thought. I have one thought via Erica. Well, really via me thinking like Erica. Taylor Swift performed her only concert of 2016 in Austin, that's Texas, this weekend. She surprised her audiences by covering, I didn't expect this one, her ex's song, This Is What You Came For. That's a Calvin Harris song. And that's her, that's her ex right there. That was surprising.
Well, you know that she's the one who wrote it.
Well, she co-wrote it.
She co-wrote
it with him.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, and
then
previously
used
she
a
hadn't talked
fake
about
name.
it. Yeah.
And then got mad that, like,
super
they didn't
weird.
acknowledge
it was
it.
very weird.
It was
yeah.
an odd
situation was
thing.
very
How dare you
convoluted.
not say that I wrote the song when I used a fake name?
Well, I think it
under
was
it.
because she got so mad about the whole breakup situation.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, so that was interesting. But she did a really good cover. I guess she did a really good cover of her own song she helped write. Yeah, and also this was her 10th anniversary of her self-titled debut album. Like, that's crazy. Mm-hmm. That's, like, I can't believe it's been 10 years since the world got Taylor Swift. I feel like she's been around so much longer than that.
Yeah.
Like 30, 40 years, and I'm not even that old.
I think one of my favorite...
She's not even that old.
She really isn't. I think my favorite Taylor Swift moment was when I think she missed her senior prom to go to the CMAs or something like that. And she was there, and she was like a senior in high school, and she like performed at the awards show, and she was like, "This is crazy," like I mean, just like imagine.
I'm missing my prom for this.
Well, then she got to meet Tim McGraw, who she wrote the song about. Like, it was just a very like cute moment.
Yeah. I forget that she used to be a country artist.
Mm-hmm. She did. And what's cool is at this concert, she played a lot of her old hits, which was really sweet.
That's really cool.
Yeah, just to kind of like, remember where she came from, which I appreciate that. A lot of people give her hate and stuff, and like, I don't know. I mean, she has flaws, but I kind of respect her at least as a musician in terms of
like,
she
really.
really.
No, of course, she's a great songwriter.
She does a lot.
Her songs are like really good.
She's also a really good choreographer. Like, she choreographs all her own stuff, which is impressive.
Yeah.
There's hands down, she's a musical genius. There's no getting past that. Like, you can't do what she does without having that
talent.
type of raw talent. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's going to wrap up my thoughts and Erica's thoughts. And that's going to wrap up this week's edition of Art Things Considered, where we considered art. My name is Matthew Slaza.
I'm Isabella Pico.
I'm Sabrina Braga.
And I'm Nico Williams.
And we considered some art for you guys. Enjoy your week.